Electric cars have had a bumpy road in getting into the mainstream view, not only for how much they sounded like something out of science fiction at times, but also because these new kinds of engines even now still have a tough time proving to hardcore automobile fans that they are as capable and even faster than gas-fueled cars. But one company that has been working hard to change all that is Tesla Motors. But their reign on the electric vehicle market may soon be challenged. So today, we're going to be talking about what are some of the biggest threats and strongest competitors that Tesla Motors will have in 2024. But before we get started with that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our new videos. So let's talk about electric cars. It is undeniable that Tesla, the Elon Musk-led automobile company, armed itself with the Herculean quest of making the electric vehicle cool and mainstream. And for the most part, they've achieved this impossible challenge, thanks to their incredible range, insane acceleration, and overall high-tech design. It's not like Tesla is just some small startup though. They're a huge corporation worth billions of dollars, and have even become one of the most profitable car companies in the United States, and the fastest growing around the world. But why electric cars? Are they more than just a novelty, or maybe the current luxury trend among wealthy people? Well, starting at the beginning, believe it or not, electric cars are everything but new. The very first electric car was invented even long before the internal combustion engine car. Of course, they were nothing at all like they are now, just like the internal combustion cars have evolved a lot too. Invented in the 1830s, it required a lot of non-rechargeable galvanic cell batteries. The rechargeable version came along only around 1859. However, when the internal combustion engine and the cars that had it came along, it was way more efficient and effective, not to mention powerful, than the electric motors. So they quickly relegated the electric vehicles to little more than a fair traction or gimmick car, earning them a name for being weaker, slower, and less efficient. And it effectively remained that way in the public eye pretty much until the arrival of Tesla Motors. But we're not trying to delve too deep into the past of electric vehicles. However, it is key to take a look at the past so we can go to the future from time to time. When talking about the competitors for Tesla Motors in the upcoming years, you'll notice that many of them are what we consider traditional motor industries. There are many reasons for this, and now that Tesla has cleared the way in making these cars cool and mainstream, these other more traditional companies have also opted to develop their own electric vehicles. Not only because they're good for the environment, but also because of how efficient they are becoming. And even though for many people they still seem less convenient than gas-fueled cars, it's easier to just plug in your car at home at night, or maybe in the parking lot too. Not to mention that this is a little less expensive in the very long run. We have to be a bit realistic here, of course. We know the good ones are still over the average budget for a family car or a first buyer. Tesla has been sitting comfortably at the top of electric vehicles. Electric mobility owes much to Tesla, the manufacturer that led the way for electric cars in this century. However, its leadership could soon fall. According to a Bloomberg intelligence study, Elon Musk's company has at least 2 more years of unquestioned superiority. And there are 2 key players in this game that are making Tesla's number tremble. We've heard from the Bloomberg report that there are 2 main threats on the horizon for Tesla Motors. The first one is the German company Volkswagen AG, and the second threat is the Chinese company BYD Company Limited, a major player in the EV market right now, which is already producing cars that can compete against Tesla's models. Let's talk about VW first. VW is the largest automaker in Europe and has been in the industry for quite some time now. It has a fleet of brands ranging from supercars such as Lamborghini and Audi to mass-produced vehicles such as Seat and Cupra. However, it is their diesel-powered cars that have gotten them in trouble over the last few years. Their use of illegal emissions control software designed to trick emission tests and reduce nitrogen oxide output has resulted in billions of euros worth of fines, and it looks like the company could be facing criminal charges in the near future. That and the growing market and push coming from governments all over the world to boost the production of electric vehicles impulsed by VW's group EV production a lot. The company is investing heavily to increase the range and efficiency of its electric motors, and they already have the upper hand with the European governments giving them a helping hand too. Their market expansion is centered in Europe and Asia, and they also have plans to double production in the next year, as well as simplify their manufacturing process and cutting costs. Sure, the Tesla gigafactories may be going hard in Europe too, but it's hard to compete against such a strong, established market. Even though they've managed to accomplish it in America, dethroning names like Ford, it's even harder to do it overseas. To put it in simpler terms, if Tesla is something like the equivalent of Apple, then the Volkswagen Group is the equivalent of Samsung. While they both offer quality, top-of-the-line fine products for select audiences, Samsung offers a much more varied product catalog, from everyday use household appliances to premium luxury smartphones. Now, staying in that same metaphor, we can say that BYD is the equivalent of Xiaomi, a fairly new challenger coming from China at full speed to conquer the EV market. Its accelerated growth owes a lot to the Chinese market. Even though Tesla has their Gigafactory in Shanghai, it's pretty much impossible for an outsider company to compete against the national one in China. And just as Xiaomi does, BYD also manufactures EV in every single category and price range. BYD could become the world's third largest producer of electric vehicles, outstripping the industry giants. According to forecasts, by 2024, the share of vehicles in the Asian company's sales could rise to 25%. As you may have noticed already, these two companies that are the biggest threat to the Tesla domain as king of the EV market can do so thanks to their very own local markets. But then what happens to Tesla's local market? Well, truth is that they're still posed to maintain domain over the entire American market, and they're diversifying their markets with their new Semi and the Cybertruck. But even though Tesla stands as the front face for the automobile market in America, that has sparked competition at home too. Traditional car companies are steadily increasing their offerings of gasoline-electric hybrid cars as well as pure electric vehicles, such as the Chevy Volt and the entire Ford EV market. Ford is a really strong competitor for Tesla. As it's always been the leader of the American car market, they've held the #1 position of the single best-selling car in America for many years now with their handy F350, and now they're also launching its EV version, the F-150 Lightning, which is in every sense a beast of an electric pickup truck. Not to mention that more classic and traditional fans are falling in love with the Mustang Mach-E. General Motors is another strong contender for Tesla, as it has a huge lineup of electric cars. They currently hold the #3 position in the US EV market and are planning to expand their product portfolio even further. GM has announced that its Chevy Bolt will soon go on sale in Europe, which means that it might actually enter the European market as well. The last thing I'll say about the competition is that Tesla's main advantage, the Model S, is starting to lose ground to its competitors. For example, the Nissan Leaf is more affordable than the Tesla, and the Chevy Bolt is even cheaper. This makes Tesla seem a bit too expensive, but that doesn't mean that Tesla is not able to keep up with the competition. In fact, it looks like Tesla is trying to solve this issue by introducing the base model of the Model 3, which should make it easier for people who want to buy a Tesla to afford one. After all, iPhones are really expensive, but they also sell incredibly well, don't they? The same is true for Tesla, and while there are strong competitors, it's almost certain that Tesla will stay ahead of the competition, especially considering that they're diversifying its markets. But who's the winner of this competition? Well, that's you, the buyer. All this strong competition is the best way to make sure that these companies will do everything they can to find ways to come up with better and more efficient vehicles. And even this also means they will be able to lower their prices, making some of them more affordable faster. But you know what also makes you a winner? Checking out some of the other videos on my channel. And if you like this subject of green energy, make sure you check out this video over here, where I talk about the latest advancements in solar panel technology for 2022. But that's it for today's video.